These punishments had us shaking our head at the rulebooks. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 unbelievable things students were punished for. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at some of the most insane reasons for which students were reportedly disciplined, with their penalties ranging from demerits to full-on expulsions. Number 10. Sharing a Jolly Rancher. Sharing is caring, unless it's candy and you're at Brazos Elementary School in Texas. Third grader Leanne Adair accepted a Jolly Rancher from a friend at lunch. This simple exchange among friends was treated as a heinous act and punished by the student being banned from attending lunch and recess with other students for a week. Administrators said that having the candy violated their policy against non-nutritious foods, even though Adair never even opened the Jolly Rancher. Healthy lifestyle choices are important, but this punishment for one piece of candy seems a bit excessive.
Lollipops. What we call cavities on a stick.
Number 9. Having at-risk genes. You'd need a microscope to see why this Palo Alto student was taken out of school. In 2012, 6th grader Coleman Chatham was told he'd have to leave school due to his carrying the genetic markers for cystic fibrosis. The logic behind this decision was somewhat legitimate. 2 other kids in the school had the disease, and there was a risk they could get each other sick. On the other hand, his medical information was allegedly disclosed by another teacher without permission, and Chatham never showed signs of sickness. All in all, Chatham missed 2 weeks of school, and his parents sued the school for discrimination against his genes. Number 8. Asking for Tylenol. Keeping drugs out of school makes complete sense, but in the case of Maine student Tracy Janicelli, things went a little overboard. When the 9th grader had a headache at school, she asked classmates if they had Tylenol and was handed 2 white pills. Later that day, she was called into the assistant principal's office and asked to sign a statement about her actions. By that night, Janicelli had been suspended from school for 5 days for violating the school's zero-tolerance policy against drugs. Worse yet, she was later expelled for the incident, prompting the ACLU of Maine to take on her case. Number 7. Recording bullying. Being bullied by fellow students is bad, but coming from a teacher is unacceptable. When 11-year-old Brianna Cooper witnessed her teacher spewing insults and threats at another classmate, she took action.
I thought I did the right thing.
She recorded the teacher's taunts on her cell phone and handed it to another school official.
Biggest kid in 5th grade, and you acting like the smallest one.
Unfortunately, since taking audio of a teacher without their knowledge is illegal in Florida, Brianna was given a 5-day suspension. Her actions did lead to the teacher getting fired, but it's still a shame she was punished for standing up for a fellow student. Number 6. A mother's Facebook rant. Most of us are guilty of getting a little angry online. Ashley Habat's online rant, however, cost her son his spot at school. Habat felt that Sunshine Christian Academy didn't give her enough time to prepare for her preschooler's picture day. She took to Facebook to vent her negative feelings on her profile page, making the post friends only, but also tagging the school. The next day, Habat was called into the main office, and her son was asked to leave the academy.
That they didn't want him as a student anymore.
Her son's expulsion sparked debate about which side had overstepped their boundaries. Tagging the school in a rant may not have been the smartest thing to do, but surely the innocent child deserved more consideration from the school. Number 5. Carrying a leaf. A 6th grader's problems all started with a leaf.
It just went away. Dude, what do I do? Help!
An assistant principal at Bedford Middle School in Virginia discovered a leaf and a lighter in an 11-year-old's backpack. Believing the leaf in question was marijuana, the student received possession charges and a 364-day suspension. Months later, 3 negative tests proved it had just been an ordinary leaf. With the truth coming to light, all charges were dropped against the student, and he was able to go to another school, on probation. Once again, there was little flexibility against a zero-tolerance policy. Number 4. Hugging a friend. The Full House gang would be banned from Southwest Middle School in a heartbeat. Why? Because the school has a strict no-hugging policy. Student Nick Martinez learned this the hard way when he and a female friend were seen embracing in the hallway.
We're a cultural family, it's what we do.
Though it was likely just an innocent gesture, it violated the school's strict rules against PDA and earned the 2 students in-school suspensions. With similar policies in surrounding area schools, if you end up taking classes in that area, You'd be better off sticking with a friendly fist bump.
Oh, is that like a new thing, or?
Number 3. Hairstyle choices. A surprising amount of educational troubles have started with a hairstyle. In 2017, a student was suspended when her red hair dye came off as too unnatural. In 2014, a male student's dreadlocks kept him out of class. But it was a 9-year-old's hair-related punishment that really had heads turning. 9-year-old Cameron Renfro shaved her head for a friend going through chemotherapy.
I didn't want her to be the only one.
The school board issued a suspension because her shaved head violated the dress code. Fortunately, social media backlash led the board to overturn their decision, and Cameron was free to return to school and support her friend at the same time. Number 2. Keeping up with Glee. There are some people that just don't like the musical show Glee, and others who consider it a punishable offense. Chris Peterman was attending Bob Jones University, a Protestant college in South Carolina. He had already been on the university's radar for his social media activism when a fellow student reported seeing Peterson at Starbucks watching Glee. Since the show had some content that the school found unacceptable, such as the depiction of gay relationships, he received 50 demerits for tuning in.
And if I return, they will call the police and have me arrested.
Although this wasn't the act that would ultimately get Peterman suspended from the school, keeping up with the musical hit was still a costly choice that brought him closer to the suspension.
I'm done.
Before we call our top pick to the office, here are some honorable mentions.
And we're spending now 2 days focused on pants that are too tight. It's unfathomable to me.
Number 1. Building a clock. It's not every day that the president gets involved with a school punishment. In 2015, 14-year-old Ahmed Mohammed wanted to share a digital clock he'd constructed with his teacher. However, it was confiscated over concerns that it supposedly looked like a bomb. He was then arrested for having a hoax bomb and received a 3-day suspension. Ahmed's story caused a social media firestorm over the belief that he was targeted because of his Muslim identity. Fortunately, the charges were dropped. As icing on the cake, one of his supporters, then President Barack Obama, invited Ahmed to the White House to show off his clock in person.
I just want to stop discrimination for everyone, not just for religious, but for all races as well.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.